Past the void beyond the mind, the empty space that circles time. I see where others stumble blind, to seek a truth they never find. Eternal wisdom is my guide. I am the Doctor.
Yes, I am the doctor, and the doctor is in. It's only the doctor that sees issues that the ordinary eyes cannot see. It's only the doctor that is able to diagnose health conditions that the ordinary person cannot diagnose. And the doctor is sitting down right here waiting for you to come and consult her. Hello, good morning. Happy Thursday. How exactly is your Thursday going? As for me, my Thursday is going perfectly fine because it is double celebration. It is Throwback Thursday and it is also Thanksgiving Day. So have you told God thank you for everything He has done for you from the beginning of the year up to this very moment? If you've not done that, do that right now. Probably after the program or even before the program, whichever one. All right, welcome to the program, Doctor, right here on Vicky Lonia Radio. Yes, it is time for us to get to know about a new health condition, to be aware of it, and to get to know how to go through the situation or help someone out there who's going through the situation. So today on Doctor, what exactly would I be talking about? You want to know? Before then, you have to tell me that you are ready. Are you ready for me to go ahead and bring the action? Tell me right away.
Bring the action.
Okay, you are ready, just as I am ready to bring you the action right here on Vicky Lonia Radio. So today on Doc Talk, what exactly are we going to be looking at? We're going to be looking at a health condition called epilepsy. Yes, a health condition called epilepsy. So I was going through Facebook this morning and I came across a post where a friend was thanking God for the life of his friend who happens to be in a faraway land. That his friend actually is an epileptic patient, and so unfortunately for him, he had a seizure in an area where people didn't even know what the situation was all about. Everyone ran away, leaving him convulsing and vibrating, thinking that he was going through a spiritual attack. They all ran away and left him, and it took the grace of God for him to be able to normalize again and take himself to the hospital. So I was like, wow, what if he had died? What if something worse had happened? All because of ignorance. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to talk about the previous topic I had wanted to talk about earlier on. I'm just going to talk about this health condition called epilepsy. A lot of us out there don't even know what epilepsy is all about. We don't even know what the condition is all about. So I'm going to educate us on what epilepsy is all about, so that when you notice someone out there going through a condition like this, you will be aware of the situation and you would know to take the person straight to the hospital. And of course, when someone is going through seizures like that, there are some certain things that you should do in order to aid the person at the moment. That's exactly part of the stuff we're going to be learning here today on the program Doc Talk. Alright, so what exactly is epilepsy? Epilepsy is actually a chronic disorder that causes unprovoked recurrent seizures, okay? Unprovoked and recurrent seizures. What is a seizure? A seizure is a sudden rush of electrical activity in the brain. So epilepsy is basically a disorder of the electrical activity in the brain. You know that the brain works how am I going to put it now? I need to put it in a way that you're going to understand. There are electrical activities in the brain. Yes, that's exactly how the brain works. It is called electrical activities. Now, when there is an issue with those electrical activities, those activities that make the brain work and function properly, yes, that is what we call epilepsy, because it could lead to seizures, and we then have an epileptic seizure. Alright, so there are two main types of seizures. There is a generalized seizure which affects the entire brain, okay, and which in turn affects the entire body. And then there is the focal or partial seizure which just affects one part of the brain, okay. So a seizure may be difficult to notice. It may be difficult to recognize, especially if it is a partial seizure, because it just lasts for a few seconds and you won't even be aware of it, okay. But strong seizures are those ones ones that cause vibrations and convulsions and makes your muscles twitch, shake, and you fall on the ground, and then the person starts vibrating. You understand? That is what we call the stronger seizures, the generalized seizures. All right, so what are the several reasons you might have a seizure? For an epileptic patient, what may cause a seizure for the epileptic patient? High fever, head trauma, head injury, brain injury, low blood sugar, and alcohol withdrawal. When the person is withdrawing from alcohol, could lead to epileptic seizure. Okay, so it is actually something that affects about 65 million people around the world. Okay, and even right here in Nigeria, anyone can develop epilepsy. It could be a child or an adult. Okay, so you should just have that in mind. Epilepsy has no cure. It can only be managed, and if not managed properly, trust me, the person will die, because we're talking about the activities of the brain. And when the brain is affected and the brain dies, the body dies, and the person just dies, just like that. And I don't want anybody to die. Please, I want us to know about this this health condition called epilepsy. Be aware of it. You don't need to be an epileptic patient in order for you to be aware of it. Knowledge, like I told us today on Rooster Call this morning, knowledge is very important. Education is very important. Never stop learning, okay? Never stop learning. You probably might be in a position to help someone. Had it been you knew about this, and let's say for example you know about this and you were there when that guy was going through this stuff, you probably would have known what to do, right? Great. Okay, so now, what are the symptoms of epilepsy? Seizures are the main symptoms of epilepsy. Okay, they are the main symptoms of epilepsy, and then symptoms actually differ from person to person. Okay, it's different from person to person, and it's also according to the type of seizure. All right, so focal or partial seizure, all right, the causes of epileptic epilepsy. What are the causes of this seizure? But first of all, before we go straight to that, how about the symptoms? Okay, how do you know that these are the symptoms of epilepsy? Seizures are the main symptoms of epilepsy. Okay, and like I told you before, they differ from person to person. All right, we have the focal or partial seizures, like I told you, the one that affect just a part of the brain. Okay, and then we have the complex seizures. Those ones that involve loss of awareness, okay, and consciousness. And then the partial simple seizure doesn't involve loss of consciousness. It just involves alterations in sense of taste. You have issues. The patient will have issues with taste, smell, sight, hearing. Okay, dizziness and tingling and twitches of the limbs. Okay, now the complex partial seizures involve loss of awareness, the consciousness, and then other symptoms include staring blankly into space, unresponsiveness, performing repetitive movements. Okay, but for the generalized seizures, okay, these are divided into 6 types. Absence seizures. Okay, the absence seizures, these ones cause repetitive movements like lip smacking or blinking. Okay, and there's also a short loss of awareness of the person's environment. Okay, and then we have the tonic seizures. This cause muscle stiffness. All right, it stiffens the muscle. And then we have the there is this other seizure here. Okay, we have the atonic seizure. This leads to loss of muscle control, makes you fall down suddenly. That's why you notice that somebody who is just sitting down and talk all of a sudden just hits the ground and starts shaking and vibrating. You know, that is what we call the atonic seizures. And then we have the clonic seizures. These ones are repeated jerky muscle movements of the face and neck and arms. You just notice that the person's his neck is shaking, shaking, the arms are shaking, just twitching here and there. That is the clonic seizures. Then we have the myoclonic seizures. This causes twitching of the arms and legs, okay, spontaneous twitching of the arms and legs. And then we also have the tonic clonic seizures. The symptoms of these seizures include stiffening of the body, shaking, loss of bladder or bowel control. The person keeps on going to the toilet, using the toilet all the time uncontrollably, biting of the tongue, loss of consciousness. Yes, those are the symptoms of of the tonic-clonic seizures. Okay, and then also you notice that person start convulsing, convulsion. Yeah, that is also a symptom of the tonic-clonic seizures. All right, so now that you know that, what exactly triggers an epileptic seizure? Okay, what triggers it? Okay, now some people are able to identify things or situations that trigger seizures. Okay, a few of these commonly reported triggers are lack of sleep, illness or fever, stress, bright lights, flashing lights, having issues with bright lights and flashing lights. Okay, being addicted to caffeine, alcohol, medicine or drugs. The person always keeps on skipping meals or eating too much, okay, or reacting to some certain food ingredients and all that. It's not easy to actually identify these triggers, okay, but that is the reason why doctors always advise that you should have what we call the seizure diary. Okay, it helps you keep track of what it is that you go through, what happens to you first before you have a seizure. Yes, so it will help you keep track of it and keep you in the know. Alright, so this is still Doc Talk right here on Vicky Lonia Radio, and we are looking at the health condition called epilepsy. So is epilepsy hereditary? Yes, of course it is hereditary. It could be transferred from parents to child during childbirth. Okay, it is hereditary. It is very rare, though it's not so common, but then it is hereditary. Okay, so even a child or an adult could suddenly have epilepsy. All right, it is not sexually transmitted, you should know that, and it has no cure, but it can be managed. When you meet someone who suddenly falls on the floor, starts shaking and convulsing, all you need to do is straighten because you need to notice that the person's fingers begin to coil in, the toes begin to coil in. Straighten out the toes, straighten out the fingers, pat the person's back, let the person lie on his side, okay, so that the choking does not, so that the person, when the person is convulsing, he doesn't choke or she doesn't choke and choke to death. So lie the person on the person's side and tap and pat his or her back, okay. That would help the person to breathe normally. What are the causes of epilepsy? Okay, there are no major causes. There are no known causes but we majorly know that it is caused by brain injury. Okay, when you have had some sort of brain trauma, brain injury, head trauma or head injury like that, yes, it could cause epilepsy. How is epilepsy diagnosed? How does the doctor or you know that, okay, you have epilepsy? When you notice that you have been going through these little symptoms that I have stated out, please go and visit the doctor. Okay, go and meet your doctor and tell the doctor that this is what you've been going through. Fortunately for you, probably might not have had the general seizure, the one that affects your entire brain and entire body, that makes you fall to the ground and start shaking. You probably must have been noticing the little ones, the loss of consciousness, having issues with your taste, twitching of arms and legs here and there for a few seconds, okay, and you just thought it's a normal thing. No, it's not a normal thing. I've always told you, whenever it is you notice something abnormal about your body, hit the hospital immediately. Let your doctor know about it so that tests will be carried out, okay. Tests to be carried out in order for you to know whether you have this epileptic condition or not, okay. It cannot be cured like I told you, but it can be treated with drugs that will be given to you by your doctor. And then also, if worse come to worse, you would have to go through brain surgery, okay, in order for the doctors to assess that particular part of the brain where the seizure is really disturbing you and work on it in order to make you feel better. And then there's a diet called the ketogenic diet. It is this kind of diet where you have to eat more of fats than carbohydrates, and then you have to stay away from those other types of foods that will not really help you. So whatever it is your doctor says you should do it. And if your doctor says you have to go through brain surgery in order to help you out, then do so. But that is only when the condition is really when the condition has become really serious and quite uncontrollable. Okay, so now that you know about epilepsy and you know about the health condition called epilepsy, please share this video out there to someone, okay, so that other people will also gain this knowledge that you have gained. Alright, all of me remains Vicky Lonia, and the program has been Doc Talk. Thank you so much for being a part of the show, because this is where I would be drawing the curtains close on the show. Share this out, follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook at Vicky Lonia Radio, and please make sure that someone close to you actually gets this podcast. Okay, I keep calling it video. It's podcast, I beg. All right, stay tuned to Vicky Lonia Radio. And the next program is The Box of Gigs with Floxin. Stay tuned and get to know what's in the box.